Hello everyone, how's it going? So the Battlefield 6 beta, at least the first week, is over. The second week, I believe, comes out on 14th to 17th of this month. Either way, I 100%ed all the content they possibly gave at this point, unless they add more content in the second beta. But yeah, I did everything. I reached max level of 20. I did all the challenges like kill 50 enemies within 10 meters of assault classes, revive 100 people, and so on. They give you like exclusive cosmetics for that. I used every weapon extensively and unlocked all the customization elements I could possibly unlock. So I played a lot of this beta during the weekend just to get a good idea. Now, I'm not a pro Battlefield player. I would say I'm adequate. I've been playing Battlefield since Bad Company 2. Played every major installment going forward from that, primarily on console, so again, take that for what it is. But I played a lot of Battlefield games, and the best way I can state about this game is that they basically took Battlefield 4 and updated it. That's basically what this is, which is great because that's what a lot of people wanted. If you played 2042 like I did, they almost had an Excel sheet where they just went down every single issue that players had and said, well, fix that, fix that, fix that, animation, weapons, vehicle combat, movement, all of that has been dramatically improved from the previous game. No more class system. Well, they do have a hero system per se, but I'll get a little more into that. But yeah, if you were to tell me this was a remake of Battlefield 4, I would 100% believe it. And that's a good thing. Do what works and give fans what they want. Now, in terms of the classes, we have four. We have Assault, we have Engineer, Support, and finally Recon, which is everyone's favorite because some reason everyone can snipe across the map except for I can. Like, I'll get more into that. But the Assault class is basically the frontline defense. They'll just go and charge forward. They have a grenade launcher. They can carry two primaries, and which include a shotgun as default and a primary. Handguns are default for everyone. There's only one handgun to choose from. But they also have a grenade launcher which can shoot a grenade, or an incendiary bolt which is great for fighting players, and it burns off areas and can kill people pretty quickly if they stand into that. They have a health syringe which allows them to recover health quickly, and the hero system is basically there are three tiers. As the match goes on, you can unlock new tiers, or I believe as long as you're alive. And for the Assault class, you gain this special syringe which allows you to recover health even quicker, allowing you to just bust open doors and take more damage. Next, we have Engineer, self-explanatory. Engineers are used for tank busting, vehicle destruction. They have a Stinger missile. They have a type of a landmine. It's not really a landmine, it's a motion sensor landmine. No one uses it, they just dump it anywhere. We have the Stinger missile, which showcases that aerial combat sucks in this game. It's because they definitely need to soup them up, because the second anyone used a helicopter or a jet, they were almost instantly shot down by like 10 Stingers. Like, it was next to impossible to have an aerial vehicle in the air without everyone honing in with a Stinger. That's also, I would argue, because the limited amount of gadgets. So they either had a choice between a Stinger or a mine, so that could be it. Once the game comes out and they have more options, it'll probably be a little more viable. But another thing I should make a note of is that every class can use essentially every weapon. There are a few limit options. Like I said, the Assault class can use a shotgun and a primary weapon, but everyone else can use a shotgun as long as they remove their primary weapon. Shotguns are pretty powerful. They can be used as long range combat and shoot like an elephant gun across the map, but they also have risk versus reward because the hip fire, like the icon, is very small. So if you don't make your shot, you're basically dead. But they are very dangerous. There's also carbines, DMRs. DMRs just suck. They basically are just crappy sniper rifles. They have the drop of a sniper rifle without the damage. Like, I would shoot someone 2 to 3 times in the head and they still wouldn't go down at close range. So, I don't know. The DMR just plain sucked. And I would talk to other players about this and they said the same thing. Like, yeah, the DMR is just, like, worthless unless you're really good at twitch shooting. Like, if you like semi-automatics and you can press the trigger very quickly, you can take down a team of players very easily. But if you're not, well, you're screwed. Submachine guns, they also work like sniper rifles. They can shoot people across the map. I was doing it all the time. I would shoot people across Liberation Peak with a submachine gun, but for some reason that doesn't have bullet drop. I would literally, for the sniper rifle, shoot them. There's only one sniper rifle. I would shoot them, take out my handgun, and just shoot them Battlefield Bad Company style. Like, again, no bullet drop. Despite us having like modern gen technology, the only thing that affects bullet drops are DMRs and sniper rifles. But also, I don't know, on Sunday it seemed like everyone was pulling off headshot after headshot. Like, tell me if this was just my experience, but I would go on Liberation Peak and no one would be able to get out of point A because everyone was landing a headshot off the top of the peak. Like, I wasn't alone on this. I talked to other players and they were like, yeah, did everyone just start taking Adderall or something? Because it was literally ridiculous. Maybe it's just me. Like, I couldn't hit a headshot for myself. I do suck with a sniper rifle ever since Battle Company 2. But I wasn't alone. A lot of people were seeing this was very ridiculous. But yeah, let's just get more into it. Like, for the engineer, their hero ability is basically they repair quicker. Support, they bundled that together with the ammo and the combat medic, so now you just have to drop a bag. Now you just need players who actually drop the fucking bag. I get annoyed by that. Like, just drop the damn bag. We would have 10 combat medics and none of them would revive even though they've surrounded me. None of them will literally drop a bag. I think they need to make more incentive for this. Like, give players a little more points for dropping these bags because it seems like no one does it. Like, there were only some times when I was playing the combat medic where people would actually revive and they would only do it out of solidarity because I revived them. Like, it's almost like, oh no, I'm not going to revive you because what have you done for me recently kind of business deal. But they did bundle them together, so at least there's that issue has been solved. Or if you think it's problematic, either way, just drop a bag and heal and supply ammo. Now, it does depend. Like, for primary and secondary weapons, you automatically get the ammo drop, but for specialized weapons like RPGs or gadgets, you have to wait a bit longer in order to get it, so you can't spam rocket launchers. Even though rocket launchers, they're very fickle. Like, sometimes they'll take 2 to 3 shots to destroy a tank, other times they'll take 5, and no, it's not because someone was repairing the tank. I really think that it's based on the animation. Like, some parts of the tank are harder than others. Like, I don't know, I always saw that inconsistency, especially with the APCs. Like, it would seem like sometimes I would get shot once and then blow up, and then other times I could take like 5 or 6 shots and it feel like such a scratch. But tell me again if this is just me. This is a beta after all. It's just a tested period, but that's what I experienced from that. The last class, Recon, obviously has the deployable beacon, which allows people to spawn on top, and they also have the motion sensor, which everyone drops everywhere, so sneaking around is next to impossible. I think they should add a perk where if you have a gadget that you can deploy that allows you to block out that signal, like a trophy from Call of Duty where it blocks like grenades and stuff like that to counteract it, because everyone was dropping it everywhere and basically sneaking around was next to impossible, especially on the smaller maps. That could be done by design to encourage people to not pick Recon all the time, because then you lose out on the other classes. And since classes are very important because only the engineer has the adequate equipment to take out tanks. Like, you shoot a grenade launcher at the tank, it'll do some damage, but it will do like 50% of 1 bar of health, and this thing has like 9 bars of health. So I think that's the whole point behind it, to encourage players. You can drop as many motion sensors as you want, but someone comes with a tank, you're basically fucked. Yes, you do have C4, but from my experience, it takes all 4 charges of C4 to even do any type of damage to a tank. It won't kill a tank, but it will do like maybe 60-70% of damage. You can, but as for APCs, it will take them down after 3 C4 charges easily. But tanks are very powerful in this game if you know how to use them. Drive-in and pilot-in is still as difficult as before, at least for me. It does take a bit of getting used to. The way they handle it is basically the tread system, where you use your controller to go like up and down, but then when you want to go back, sometimes it will turn on a slant. Despite me holding back, it would still go like this when I'm just like, go back. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I found that to be a problem. And again, I talked to other players about this and they were also on my side. Some of them were like, yeah, we switched to mouse and keyboard because that was always happening when we played the controller, which is another thing that I think will be problematic. Maybe that's how the snipers were so good, because they were using mouse and keyboard. But there is a mouse and keyboard option. Like, look, I've played first-person shooters on mouse and keyboard. You're not gonna win. Like, in terms of movement, the joystick is the best option in my opinion. Like, WASD is hard on the fingers as you get older, but with mouse, you can't compete. Like, mouse is literally, you're playing on cheat codes when you play with a controller against a person with a controller. It's like you're not gonna win. So maybe they might resolve that. Maybe it was just for testing purposes, but if they're using mouse and keyboard, you're basically fucked. Especially if they have the M1A1 with the hipfire attachment, you're basically going to be just destroyed instantly. Another thing that I did notice that was a little bit problematic is that matches, at least only a handful of my matches, were like neck and neck. Like I would say a good 90% of my matches were us either getting completely destroyed or the other team just getting completely destroyed. And since they would just push us back to our spawn point, I think that the developers should implement a feature where if you're at your spawn point, that you should get a bonus, like something to just give you an initial bonus to just push forward. Like if you're in your spawn point, you take 10% less damage, or you deliver 10% more damage. Call it motivational boost or something, because there were times where people would just camp the outside of our spawn point, or we would do the same and just go like 80-1. Like it happened a lot more than like it was ridiculous. It happened a lot more. Maybe it's just the matchmaking system. Maybe we were just going against sweats and I had sweats on my team, but it happened a lot more frequently for me to take notice and a lot of other players to take notice. I would talk to them about it and they were like, yeah, last match we completely rolled through this team, and they would end up quitting and just re-rolling into another match. But in terms of the gameplay, it's solid. Like it's a good solid shooting experience. Movement feels very right. You can move at different speeds depending on the weapon you're using. Primary is the slowest, secondary is second fastest, and running with your knife is the third fastest. You can use your knife very efficiently with your primary, so there is that, but you can crouch run, which is absolutely amazing. You can lean and shoot from corners. It's a little fickle, but once you get used to it, you can kind of predict when you can use it. There is a little icon, but it's not 100%. What else? You can make a deployable cover with the support class, or you can make your own cover by just shooting the ground. Like for Liberation Peak, since the ground is made of soil, you could just throw a C4 charge and make your own little cover, which I thought was brilliant. They put terrain manipulation into the game, and the destructibility in this game is fucking amazing. It's not Battlefield 4 level, because this is just the beta. They haven't really showed the extent of that. I haven't seen anything like the ship coming in or a giant building exploding and falling down and changing the terrain. Nothing like that so far, but based on what I've seen, like with tanks rolling in and the corner of buildings, here's the thing that they did change about the destructibility though. Not everything can just be immediately destroyed. Like it actually has a health bar system. Like it's some parts of the building take more damage than others. If you hit the side of a building with a grenade launcher, it's not guaranteed to fall down, but if you hit it in the right place, it could. Sometimes it takes 2 rocket shots to destroy cover in a building, which I think is actually a pretty good idea. It shows like these buildings have a bit more character to them. But there's also some elements that are not destructible that I find very annoying. Like there would be crates on the floor which have immortality status, like the trees from GTA, or you would shoot them and nothing would happen. I think that there should be destructibility when it comes to those little items there. Like I get not everything's going to be destructible obviously, but I really think that everything within the map, like the crates and stuff like that, should be destructible in some extent. Like I think Marvel Rivals has kind of spoiled me on that, where the map will just disintegrate and then just come back together. Again, you can't do that in Battlefield, but I don't think a lot of people would complain if it was like crates and stuff like that. Like that's just my opinion. And another thing is that I feel like the maps feel a bit small. Like I know that comes off like they look large on the when you're looking at the overhead of the map, but once you start playing the map, it definitely feels smaller. Like when you've gone through Caspian Border, you definitely feel like Liberation Peak was definitely the largest of the map, and it felt like there were just invisible walls everywhere. Not invisible walls, but basically you've moved out of combat, get back to combat, or you'll be shot. Basically you've gone out of bounds. And it just felt like it was more apparent than ever before in this game than it has been in other Battlefield games. So I think that hopefully they have bigger maps in the full version of the game. But overall, I am really happy with what I played. Like, it is fun, it's very engaging. I do believe there need to be some tweaking done with the matchmaking, especially with bullet drop when it comes to these weapons. Like, submachine guns need to be turned down. Submachine guns really need to be turned down. Like, as much as I complained about sniper rifles, those submachine guns are nasty when it comes to long-range combat. Something needs to change with them. And other than that, I don't have a lot of real big complaints. Like, the game didn't have a lot of major issues for me. At least I only found one glitch where you would look at the side of a building and you would see what would be equivalent to the sun staring back at you. Like, it just got so bright and you would be like, whatever. Maybe add a thermal scope, because a lot of people just throw smoke grenades everywhere, even your own team, to troll at you, and that can get actually very annoying. So to combat smoke grenades, maybe add thermal scopes. Maybe that will be in the final game. Maybe it wasn't here. So if someone just spams smoke grenades everywhere, you could just be like, I still see you. But yeah, overall, it's just Battlefield. They went back to what works, and if you're a fan of Battlefield, you're gonna love this game. And in terms of being a Call of Duty killer, I might do a separate video on that. I don't think this game is going to do that. I think it is going to surpass Black Ops 7. We haven't seen that yet, but I think we all know what Black Ops 7 is going to be like. It's going to be just another Call of Duty game. They're going to play it safe. They're going to have all this stuff, and I think a lot of people are just tired of Call of Duty's bullshit at this point. But I think it's going to do better than Black Ops 7, but in the long run, Call of Duty is still going to win, because Call of Duty has such a large backlog of games that people still play, and then they advance to the next game. And let's face it, Microsoft and Activision, well, Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard right now, they never put their games on sale. Like Black Ops 1 is still $60, and they still sell the expansions at full price, especially on Steam, even though those games are basically a swamp filled with malware and ransomware waiting to happen. If you play these games on PC, be warned. Especially the older Call of Duty games. It was so bad they had to remove Call of Duty World War II from the Xbox PC store. So just letting you know there. But I think this game will beat Black Ops 7 if they just go through the same traditional route. But then there's also the situation where people just buy one game a year, especially seeing that old tech, they're raising the price of Switch, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5 outside the United States. So I think this game will just do better than that, but the people who just want the same old will still buy Black Ops 7 regardless. But I'm happy with what I got here. It gave me what I wanted, and that's all I wanted. But tell me what you think about the Call of Duty. I said Call of Duty. Tell me what you think about Battlefield 6's beta. Issues, problems you had, things you liked, things that you hated, things that you really loved. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on this. Tell me if your experience with the sniper rifle and the submachine guns was the same as me, because I can't speak for the shotgun, because I used that as a sniper rifle on Liberation Peak, and it worked. It worked. So I can speak from experience for that, and the submachine gun. Actually, I used that in the I can't remember the map's name. I'm not good with names, but let's just say the one that looks like it was taking place in Iran, and I literally was shooting people across the map. Like, we're on the left side of the map, next to the bazaar. There was this section, and everyone was in the section where it's close to point C. I would hide on that right hand of the section and just go and shoot people with the submachine gun from across the map like it was nothing. And I did get a lot of people saying I was hacking. I was like, no, you try it. And you can see that the submachine gun's a sniper rifle. But that's it for me. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Love to hear other people's opinions. That's it for me, and have a good day.